Okay, welcome everybody to this information session about the programs of Actuarial Science and Econometrics and Data Science. And yeah, let's get started with today's program. Welcome once again to this information session. This will be an information session about the bachelor's programs at the University of Amsterdam of Actuarial Science and Econometrics and Data Science. My name is Umut Can. I am the program director of the bachelor's program in Actuarial Science. We also have Dr. Maurice Koster here with us, and he is the program director for Econometrics and Data Science. The two programs have a lot in common, as you will see, which is why we hold a single information session for both at the same time. The plan today is that I will give you basically a quick overview of the two programs. What do they look like? What kinds of stuff you will learn? So that will take about maybe half an hour. And then we have two students with us. We have Alicia, who is a recent graduate of the Actuarial Science program, and she is actually currently a master's student in Actuarial Science and Mathematical Finance at the University of Amsterdam. So she can tell us a bit about her experiences as a student studying Actuarial Science here at UvA. We also have Marlies. She is a current Econometrics and Data Science student, and she will also share the student perspective as an Econometrics and Data Science student. Marlies is also the current chair of our student association, the so-called VSAE. That's the Student Association for all students studying Actuarial Science or Econometrics and Data Science. And Marlies will tell us a bit about all the different activities that the VSAE, the Student Association, organizes. We also have colleagues here from admissions and study advice teams, and they will help us answer questions. Yeah, so after my talk and after the students introduce themselves, we will basically have a Q&A session where you can ask questions and we will try to answer them, as many as possible. Okay, let's get started with a quick overview of what the programs are all about. Actuarial science, as you can see on the slide, a quick definition for actuarial science is that, well, it's a field of study that applies mathematical and statistical methods, and the aim is to assess and manage risks in insurance and finance and related fields. A fancy bunch of words. It's still a bit vague, I guess, what exactly it means. To make it more concrete, I can give you a couple of examples of what an actuary would actually do in real life. So imagine an insurance company, right? Maybe a car insurance company. It has a lot of customers that it has insured. It collects payments from the customers, right? Premiums. It collects premiums from the customers. So it has a large amount of capital available. And in return, it promises the customers that it will help them cover their damages if they get into an accident, right? That's how insurance works. So I said that actuarial science is all about managing risks. So what kind of risks is an insurance company exposed to? Well, of course, the most obvious kind of risk is that if too many of your customers claim payments from you, or if some of the payments are too large, maybe you will be in a situation where you don't have enough capital to cover all the payments, all the claim payments. And that's a kind of situation that you want to avoid at all costs as an insurance company. So the job of an actuary, or one of the jobs of the actuary, is first of all to set a good price for the insurance, a good premium level. So how much should you charge your customers for the service that you provide? It shouldn't be too low because then you won't have enough capital. It shouldn't be too high because then you will lose your customers to your competitors. So setting a good price for the insurance, that's one of the tasks of an actuary working in an insurance company. Another task would be, while you have all this capital available that you have collected from your customers, some of that capital you would like to set aside as reserves to cover future payments. But some of your capital you would also like to use, for example, to invest in your company. You would like to maybe hire new people or branch yeah, start new branches or open new branches or invest in new office space, things like that. Or you might want to invest the capital in the markets, maybe stock markets, money markets, whatever, to grow your capital a little bit. So how do you allocate your capital to all these different places in an optimal way, right? That's also something for the actuaries to figure out. Um, so these would be some examples of what an actuary would actually do at an insurance company. But of course, you have actuaries not only in insurance companies, but in all sorts of financial companies, in banks, investment funds, mortgage funds, pension funds. Whenever basically you have a financial institution managing a big amount of capital, and this capital is exposed to risks, then you have actuaries who try to basically quantify those risks and manage those risks. So that's basically actuarial science in a nutshell. What about econometrics and data science? You still apply mathematical and statistical methods, but now the aim is not risk management necessarily, but the focus is a bit broader. You want to understand or predict economic relations and dynamics in general. Again, to make it concrete, maybe I can give you a couple of examples. A typical example would be you might wonder, maybe governments could wonder, what is the relationship between a person's yearly income and the person's education level, gender, age, area of residence, what kind of industry they're working in, right? All of these things potentially influence your income level. But how exactly do they influence your income level? Can we sort of quantify the relationship between these personal characteristics and your yearly income, right? That's a typical kind of job for an econometrician. Quantify the relationship between these characteristics and the person's yearly income, for example. What would be another example? You can think of macroeconomic variables, like what is the relationship between interest rates, unemployment, inflation, right? All of these macroeconomic variables, they are somehow connected, but can we quantify this relationship and can we somehow use this to our advantage, right? To set policy. That would be also a very typical econometric kind of application. But you can also think more broadly for a particular company. If a company wants to, again, figure out how to invest its capital in an optimal way, should I grow? Should I invest more in marketing? Should I invest more in research and development? Should I grow? Should I contract? Should I hire more people? These kinds of decisions also require understanding economic relations. And there also you would see econometricians helping make decisions, right? So in all of these examples, of course, both in actuarial science and in econometrics, you basically want to make sense out of data, right? Whenever you want to figure out the relationship between things or you want to predict the future, in the case of actuarians, you do this based on past data. So you have big data sets available, and somehow from this data sets, you want to extract useful information. And you use mathematics and statistics to do that. But increasingly, we also use methods from data science to do that. And so much so that the program in econometrics is now called Econometrics and Data Science. And it offers actually 2 tracks where you can focus either on econometrics or on data science. And I will say more about this in a few minutes. So these are the 2 programs in a nutshell, what they're about. What kind of work areas do our students usually end up in? Well, the typical work areas are financial institutions like banks, insurance companies, pension funds. A lot of our students also go for consultancies, which help other companies or government organizations which help those companies or organizations make decisions, essentially. you can end up working in a wide variety of industry, in a wide variety of companies. Think of healthcare, transportation, retail. Whenever you have a company that is reasonably large and that has complicated logistical operations that they need to take care of, they will need people to basically, yeah, make sense of the mess of data that they have to optimize their operations, right? So basically, you can find employment in a wide variety of companies. Government, of course, a lot of government organizations, ministries, they depend on statistics and yeah, understanding what those statistics mean to make decisions, right? So a lot of our graduates also work in government institutions to help make policy decisions. You can also end up working for a startup, or you can even start your own startup. I will give you a couple of examples of that. So the possibilities for the work areas are quite wide, I would say. What are some unique features of the bachelor's programs that we offer here at the University of Amsterdam? Well, the two programs, Actuarial Science and Econometrics and Data Science, they are mostly joint for the first 2 years. So whether you are an Actuarial Science student or an Econometrics and Data Science student, you will take the exact same courses in your first year, and also for most of your second year as well. And which means if you are still unsure between the two programs, you can actually make your decision after your first year, sometime in the middle of your second year. So you have time until the middle of your second year to make your ultimate decision. These are both very quantitative and challenging programs. There's a lot of math and statistics involved. And some students find this challenging. Some students think, well, this is a program, this is not a science program, it's an econometrics, economics and business program. So maybe it's not as challenging as a science program, but in fact, yeah, in terms of math content or quantitative content, it is comparable to a science or engineering focused course or course of study. So that's something to keep in mind. But of course, the payoff is also excellent in the sense that our students typically have no trouble finding good, satisfying, and well-paying jobs. And we also offer master's programs for our students that they can continue on to after finishing their bachelor's. This is a newspaper article, and this is an example of one of those startups that I was talking about before that you could end up working for. So this is a newspaper article from 2020. It is about a startup called PacMed, and the title of this article says "Data Hulpje for the Doctor." So as you can guess, it means data help or data helper for the doctor. And this is what this startup does, basically. This PacMed is a startup that helps hospitals or clinics or healthcare institutions to streamline and optimize their services. So this startup, they use the data collected by the healthcare facility to help them make better decisions, to decrease waiting times for the patients, to reduce waste, maybe to increase sustainability. So this is a kind of startup that is quite successful. Actually, they are still in business, and we mentioned this one in particular because their current chief technological officer (CTO) is actually a graduate of our econometrics program. So this sort of a startup might be very well where you end up working, or you might even start your own startup. Here is another example of where our graduates actually work. So this is also a newspaper article from 2018. And this is an article about the Dutch National Railway Company, so the so-called NS. The NS, this railway company was hiring, data scientists or econometricians back in 2018 to, again, optimize their operations, to reduce delays, or to make sure that if there's a delay in one part of the network, it doesn't affect other parts of the network too much, and so on. So this is also a kind of project that you might find yourself working in after you graduate. So all of this is to emphasize that the possible work opportunities are quite widespread after you graduate from our programs. All right, so what does the program of study actually look like? Well, as I said before, the first 2 years are joint, essentially, between the two programs. The first year is exactly the same, both in actuarial science and econometrics and data science. Second year is also mostly the same, only towards the end of the second year there are some differences, and I will show you more later. In the third year, the two programs split completely. So if you're in actuarial science, you continue to the third year of actuarial science. If you are in econometrics and data science, in the third year, you choose between one of these two tracks, either econometrics or data science. So also these two tracks split in the third year. And so the third year is more specialized. And after you finish your bachelor's program, we also offer, as I said, master's programs that you can continue on to. The natural choice after actuarial science would be the master's program in actuarial science and mathematical finance. And for econometrics and data science, you can continue to the master's program in econometrics. But those are not the only options for the master's. Just a quick note. After finishing either actuarial science or econometrics and data science bachelor's programs, you have a number of options to choose from in terms of master's programs here at the University of Amsterdam. So you will very easily qualify to enter one of these master's programs that you see on the screen. You can go to the master's in actuarial science and mathematical finance, or econometrics, or data science and business analytics, or economics and business. You can also go for master's programs in the science faculty. So this master's stochastics and financial mathematics, this is a 2-year master's program offered by the science faculty, and it's much more mathematical and science oriented, but you will most likely qualify for it as well if you want to pursue that. There is also a research master offered by the Tinbergen Institute. That's a 2-year master's program as well. And this is for students who might be thinking about an academic career, maybe going for a PhD. They could follow this research master in Tinbergen Institute. So you have quite a number of options in terms of your master's program if you want to continue at the University of Amsterdam to your master's program. Okay, so let's go into what your year 1 will look like if you start either actuarial science or econometrics and data science. As I said, year 1 is a joint program, so you take the exact same courses. We have 2 semesters, and each semester is divided into 3 blocks. And as you can see in the first semester, we immediately start with mathematics 1, calculus, and then macroeconomics. And then in block 2, probability theory statistics 1, microeconomics, and block 3, programming and numerical analysis. So we start building up all the necessary backgrounds that you will use in the later parts of the program. Second semester continues with mathematics 2, probability theory and statistics 2, and finance, and the 2 introduction courses, Introduction to Econometrics and Actuarial Science, and Introduction to Data Science. So as you can see, first year is all about building the necessary background to be able to continue on to more specialized courses. As in most Dutch universities, we have a system of so-called binding study advice. So if you have counted in the last slide, we have 10 courses in the first year. Each counts for 6 credits. So in total, you take 60 credits in your first year. And we require that you successfully complete 48 of those 60 credits, which means you should be able to pass 8 of those 10 courses, which gives you 48 credits. So you should be able to pass at least 8 of your 10 courses in your first year in order to be able to continue on to the second year. In other words, if you fail 2 courses, 1 or 2 courses, that's okay. But if you fail more than 2 courses, then you will not get a positive study advice, which means you have to drop out of the program and maybe start another program either at the University of Amsterdam or at another university. Right, so this is a typical feature of Dutch universities that at the stage of admissions, maybe we are not too strict, but we do expect you to perform well in your first year once you get into the program. Perform well in the sense that, well, you have to pass at least 8 of your courses, 8 of the 10 courses in the first year. And as I told you, our program is quantitative and maybe somewhat challenging compared to other programs, and we usually have a positive VSAE rate of about 60 to 70%, which means about 2/3 of the students who start the program are able to continue to the second year, which means 1/3, the remaining 1/3 of the students, they cannot continue and they have to drop out. And those are the students who drop out are usually the students who were not ready for the quantitative content and they were maybe expecting a somewhat lighter load. So it's good to be aware that once again, this is a quantitative, well, both programs are quantitative, and we do expect you to learn a lot and yeah, do well in your first year. If you pass the first year, this is what the second year will look like. We continue in the first semester with the math sequence, probability theory and statistics 3, but we also start with more specialized courses. You see life insurance mathematics in block 1, that's more of an actuarial flavored course. Statistical learning, more towards data science. And in the second semester, you take Econometrics 1, Econometrics 2, Mathematical Economics 1. So these are, of course, more specialized courses specific to our programs. And you can see in the second semester, you can see the first differences starting to appear between Actuarial Science and Econometrics and Data Science. Right? In block 5, you see this choice between risk theory and mathematical and empirical finance. So the econometrics students, econometrics and data science students have a choice there. Actuarial students have to take risk theory. In block 6, likewise, actuarial students take the research seminar, econometrics and data science students take the empirical project. So starting from block 5 of the second semester, the two programs start to diverge, which means the final choice between the two programs should be made ideally by the latest, the middle of your second year. So you have until the middle of your second year to make your ultimate choice. All right, that's what the second year looks like. In year 3, as I said, the programs split. If you go with econometrics and data science and the econometrics track within econometrics and data science, then, well, your first semester, the first semester of the third year is essentially a free semester where you can take electives, or you can go study abroad. So you can take electives abroad as well, or you can do an internship plus some electives. So this is actually for you to construct depending on your own interests. The courses that you see here on your screen, they are not mandatory courses of the program. They are just suggested electives. So if you don't know what to take, these are some very nice courses that we offer that you can take as electives, but you don't have to take these ones, right? If you are interested in other things, feel free to take courses in maybe mathematics, maybe even more unrelated, like psychology, sociology, whatever. As long as you meet their entry requirements, of course, you are free to take whatever courses that you like in this first semester. We also, so as I said, you can also study abroad here. University of Amsterdam has a lot of agreements with universities worldwide. And so you can go study at another university and take electives there. You can also do an internship. The university helps you find an internship, And but internship counts for 12 credits. So on top of that, you still need to take some electives in this semester. So this is what the first semester looks like. In the second semester, you again take mandatory courses. And if you are in the econometrics track, these are the courses that you will take: time series analysis, microeconometrics, mathematical economics 2, and of course the thesis seminar where you actually write your bachelor's thesis to finish your studies. This is what the third year looks like for the econometrics track. If you go for the data science track within econometrics and data science, then the first semester is once again free to choose for you. So you can choose free electives, you can do study abroad. I forgot to mention that you can choose your electives in such a way that you actually do a minor. So you can, several programs offer minors, which means they give you a package of electives that you can take. And if you complete that package, in your diploma, it will say, okay, you have completed the minor, let's say, in mathematics, in addition to your program of econometrics and data science. So that's another possibility for the first semester. So that's a free semester for you to construct. The second semester for data science students looks like this. So now you take courses more related to data science, like reinforcement learning and text retrieval and mining. And once again, you write your thesis, of course, to finish your program. So this is what your third year would look like as a data science student. Finally, if you go for actuarial science, once again, the first semester will be free to construct: electives, minor, study abroad, internship. The second semester, of course, focuses on actuarial courses like stochastic models in life insurance, financial accounting in life insurance, mathematical and empirical finance, plus, once again, the thesis. So this is what you can expect, depending on your choices of program and of the track within the program. Starting next year, we also offer Dutch or English language options for both of our programs, Actuarial Science and Econometrics and Data Science. If you are Dutch or Dutch-speaking student, then you can choose to go for the Dutch track instead of the English track. So both tracks are offered in parallel, and they are identical in terms of content and level. The only difference is the language. If you go for the Dutch track, in year one, all the lectures and tutorials and exams, everything will be in Dutch. In the second year, we will start introducing some English lectures, but the tutorials and exams will still be in Dutch. In year three, everything will be in English. So basically, if you go for the Dutch track, you get this smoother transition to a fully English taught program, and you will write your bachelor's thesis in Dutch. If you go for the English track, right from the start, from year one onwards, everything will be in English. All lectures, tutorials, exams, everything will be in English, and you will be asked to write your thesis in English as well. So here, if you're a Dutch student or a Dutch-speaking student, you have a choice. Okay, a couple of nice things about the University of Amsterdam in particular. Well, as I just said, we offer a choice between English and Dutch program, but we have a very international atmosphere. Our students in these two programs, about half of them, or even more than half of them, are international students. So the student population is quite mixed. The teachers are also quite mixed. We have Dutch teachers, international teachers. So we have a very nice international atmosphere. We are the only Dutch university that offers a bachelor's program in actuarial science. So that's if you want to study actuarial science, a bachelor's program in actuarial science, basically University of Amsterdam is your only choice. And we offer a path towards becoming a certified actuary in the Netherlands. If you complete our bachelor's program in actuarial science, plus the master's in actuarial science and mathematical finance, plus the one-year postmaster's program, which we call the actuarial practical cycle. If you complete all this, then you are automatically registered as a certified actuary in the Netherlands. So you don't have to take any external exams or anything like that. So that's a nice option for those who are interested in an actuarial career. We offer a moment of choice after basically 2 joint years or 1.5 joint years, as I said. So you don't have to make your final decision until then between the 2 programs. We do have a small and active student union called VSAE. And the chair of the student union is with us, and she will tell us in a few minutes about all the different things that the student union organizes. You will have good career prospects after finishing our programs. As I said before, our students typically don't have any trouble at all finding employment, well-paying employment after graduating. And we have enthusiastic staff. Usually students rate our programs rather high in terms of support from staff. So we try to be helpful for students and supportive. We do offer various kinds of study support. We have a study advice team. We have, again, student union that also offers study support. We have different kinds of study support if you're struggling with your courses. So we are here for you to make sure that you finish your studies and you graduate from the program. And of course, we are located in Amsterdam, which is one of the nicer places in the world to spend a few years as a young person, I would say. Let's see. What are the entry requirements? Well, the detailed entry requirements you can find on the website, but basically what we require is 3 things. One is a diploma equivalent to the Dutch VWO diploma. So the Dutch VWO diploma is a high school diploma, but it's let's say the highest level of high school diploma that you can get. So we require you to have basically an equivalent level of high school diploma. We do expect some mathematics proficiency, which is at the level of VWO-B in the Netherlands. If we are not sure about your math proficiency, we might ask you to take this external test called OMPTD. This is an external institution that gives online tests to judge your math level. So we might ask you to take that test so that we know if your math level is sufficient for our programs or not. And finally, we require English proficiency. It's also good to mention that if you do get into our programs, you will be asked to complete a 1-week online course, which is called UvA matching. You will listen to some lectures, do some exercises, and do some test at the end of this program. The results of the test are not binding, so even if you do very badly in this test, you can still start with the program, but it's just to help you decide if this program is right for you or not. If you do get into the program, of course, you will get more information about UvA matching later on. Yeah, so the application deadlines, basically for non-EU students, the deadline is the 1st of April. For Dutch or EU students, the deadline is 1st of May, but there might be exceptions here depending on your visa requirements or your housing requirements. So make sure to check the website to figure out the correct deadline that would apply to you. Okay, so this was it, what I wanted to say today. Alicia and Marlies to say a few words about basically the student experience at UvA as an actuarial or econometrics and data science students. Maybe first we hear from Alicia Alida. As I said, she graduated from the bachelor's program in actuarial science last year, and she is currently enrolled in the actuarial science and mathematical finance master's program. So maybe Alicia, you can tell us a bit about where you're from, what you like about the program, what you find challenging, and so on. So the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Umut. Hi everyone, my name is Alicia and actually from Suriname. I just came here to the Netherlands like 4 years ago now. And I also started my bachelor here at the University of Amsterdam. And I graduated last summer with a bachelor degree in actuarial science. But back in high school, I wasn't exactly sure about what I wanted to study. But I knew I really enjoyed like math and economics. And to help me decide, I did a lot of study choice tests, and that's when I discovered actuarial science. I found out that it focused on pension and insurances and also like risk management, which really caught my interest. And that is when I decided I wanted to become an actuary. And yeah, I choose the University of Amsterdam because they are actually the only university that offers like the bachelor program, the master program, and then you can do the postmaster afterwards. But that's for later on. But one thing I really enjoyed about this whole program is the unique mix of math, economics, and also a bit of programming. So it wasn't just pure math all the time, but also a balance of economics and programming, which made it like dynamic and interesting. And the transition from high school to university for me was a bit challenging in the beginning because, yeah, like I lived my whole life in another country and coming here is also a big shift. So I had to cope with that first. And yeah, studying at high school and studying at university is also a big difference. So I had to find like my way first before it was going smooth. But any tips I would have for upcoming students would be go to all lectures, go to all tutorials, don't skip them. Because if you stay ahead of all the material, then you're definitely gonna do well in this whole course because it's really a different level of studying and a different level of mathematics and stuff like that. But if you're gonna procrastinate and save everything for the last time, you're not gonna be able to do this program. And another tip would also be if you really want to start working, just focus on passing the first year, getting your um bindungsstudieadvies, they call it. And when you're done with that, then you can just think about working. But in the first year, just focus on passing all your courses, all your courses and stuff like that, and then it's gonna be great. Because if I could do it in 3 years, you can also do that. So that was a little bit about me and yeah, what I found about this program. I will
Thanks,
give the
Alicia.
floor now to Marlies. Yeah.
Yes. Next is Marlies from Econometrics and Data Science, and she can also tell us a bit about the Student Association VSAE.
Yeah, so I'm Marlies. I am 20 years old and I'm currently in my second year of the Econometrics program. So the reason that I chose this bachelor was that high school kind of made me very lazy actually, and I wanted to change that. So I actually just looked up most challenging bachelors, and then I came across econometrics. In high school, I was very bad at math, and all my teachers told me to not study econometrics. But yeah, it sounded interesting to me, so I thought, let's just do it. And I went in very unprepared. My math level was not very high. So I had some difficulties changing from high school to university because it is really a big step. I was not very motivated and I just didn't do a lot. And I was a very big procrastinator. So I actually failed my first 4 courses, which was very scary because I really thought I wasn't going to be able to get my BSA. So yeah, big tip for me also, don't procrastinate and keep working hard, because I had to do a lot of resits. It was a very stressful time and I had a lot of exams. I had like 4 exams of different courses in two weeks, which is it's just not what you want. Eventually I did pass and I got through my first year, but it could have been a more enjoyable experience. So I'd recommend just start studying on time. But yeah, I'm very happy that I made the decision to study econometrics, also because of the programming aspect of it. I didn't know at first that was a part of econometrics. As I said, I was very unprepared. But I'm actually enjoying it very much now, and I'm happy, yeah, that I'm doing this. So also I still live at home, so I commute to the UvA every day for like a little under 1.5 hours, which is not as bad as it sounds because the first lecture starts at 9 a.m., which is not too early. And yeah, most days you start later than 9, so it's not that bad. And the reason that I chose the UvA, because the VU, that's another university in Amsterdam that's actually way closer to my house. But just the atmosphere of the UvA and the international aspect, I really just loved it. It was way more welcoming to me. And yeah, also the student and study associations of the UvA are way nicer, I think. So I'm just gonna tell you something about that now. Yeah, so the VSAE is the Study Association for Econometrics, Actuarial Science, and Business Analytics. And the fee for entering the VSAE is 20 euros, and then you are a member for your whole bachelor's. So that is quite nice. We have a few aspects. Firstly, the social part of our association. So we have a monthly drinks at a bar. Actually, if you go there once, you already get your 20 euros back because there are free drinks, and that's very nice. Also, we organize a lot of trips. Last year we went to New York. We also have our annual skiing trip, which there is a picture of. And also intro camp, which is very nice. If you're first year, you can go on intro camp and you can actually meet other first years. And we're seeing that a lot of friend groups that are formed during intro camp are still together, and we see them at every monthly drinks still talking. You can also sign up for intro camp already on the VSAE website. So if you're interested in doing this program, then sign up. It's very fun. Another aspect of VSAE is the mental health. We have a coffee committee. There are a few confidential advisors in there, which you can talk to about any kind of problems you have. Yeah, so that's it for that part. Then the study part. If you're not a big fan of drinks, then you can also get your 20 euros back with the discount on books. Yeah, so if you order any books via the VSAE website, you get I believe, 10 or 15% discount on them. Also, we have an online exam database. It's very extensive. We have even exams from 2013, I believe, on there. So there's a lot of practice material, which is very nice because, yeah, your first exams, you really don't know what to expect. So it's a very nice way to practice. We also work together with a tutoring company. And via the VSAE, you can get a discount on that. They offer tutoring for especially the mathematics courses. And yeah, it's also very nice. Then the career. There are a lot of events to get to know companies. We also have a lot of vacancies and internships on our website. I believe next month we have in-house experience as career events, which is open to all years. So if you're first year, you can also sign up for career events already if you want to get introduced to these companies. And there is a QR code on here that links to the VSAE website. So if you want any more information, you can go there. that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Marlies, and thank you, Alicia. So, I think this is more or less all that we wanted to say. Only a few last reminders. So what's next? You can explore our programs online and compare the programs. We do offer an open campus day this Friday on March 14th, where you can come, if you're in the Netherlands, of course, you can come and explore the campus, do some campus tours, guided tours, and visit the study fair. But you do need to sign up for this on the website. So if you would like to come, please do sign up. We offer a program called Student for a Day, where if you sign up for this, then you come visit the campus for one day, and you are assigned, you are paired up with one of the current students in the program that you are interested in. And basically that student will be your guide for the day, and together with that student you will go to all the lectures and tutorials and computer labs and so on. So you will see what the lectures look like, what lecture halls look like, what the student experience is like, and your student guide will also, of course, also answer all your questions. So if you are interested in that, please sign up for that as well. We also offer so-called experience days for 2 days. So you can do it on campus in Dutch or online in English on April 9 or April 16. And on these experience days, you basically take a kind of short lecture. You basically follow a short lecture which is specifically tailored for you. So it's not part of the lectures that our actual students take. It's specifically tailored for prospective students, just to again give you an idea about what kind of content you can expect once you start the program. And once again, the application deadlines of April 1st for non-EU students and May 1st for EU or Dutch students. And we look forward to seeing you in September. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. So we still have about 10 minutes basically for the Q&A session. So you should see a Q&A tab at the top of your screen somewhere. And I already see that some people have already entered some questions. So if you do have some questions, please enter your questions there and we will try to answer them. Okay, so I see one question. Are there cases for international students of Bachelor's Econometrics and Data Science to be employed in the Netherlands? Yes, definitely there are employment opportunities for international students here, both in Actuarial Science and Econometrics and Data Science. A lot of rather big companies, they will hire international students. Usually at the entrance level, the Dutch language requirements are not very strict. Of course, if you want to stay here longer and move up within the company, ultimately it will be good to learn the Dutch language as well. But at least at the entrance level, usually the international students don't have any trouble finding employment here at all. How hard are the math courses? I'm curious whether your math courses are as difficult as those at technical universities or if they are considered less intense. I would say our math courses are comparable to technical universities math courses. I don't know if Maurice wants to add anything to that.
Yeah, I'm one of the math professors here, so and I taught basically all the math courses, and it's comparable. But some of the disciplines you get everywhere. So also in technical universities, you get linear algebra. Linear algebra for our domain of studies is yeah, it's a necessary component. So we go a little bit further maybe. But it's good to realize that when we teach mathematics, we're going to use it. So it's not like studying mathematics where you do a lot of proofs and stuff like that. So we learn techniques, the intuitions behind them, Sometimes it proves completely without, it's not possible, but then you're going to apply it. You're going to use it in other courses. So it's more a service for the applications in actuarial science and econometrics.
Yeah, there's a question about the male-female ratio in the two programs. My impression is that it's quite close to 50-50, but I don't know.
Yeah, it depends. Sometimes it's 55 male, 45 female,
Yeah.
sometimes 60-40, but it's yeah a little bit more male, I would say, but not so dominant.
Yeah. Are we allowed to take internships before our third year? So in theory, yes, but that will not be an internship for credit. So that will be basically just for your own sake. So you can, in theory, work in it well, in addition to your studies, but we would not advise this because we would advise you basically to focus on your studies for the first 2 years. If you do an internship in the third year, well, that's the ideal place to do it because the first semester of the third year is basically a free semester for you. And if you do it there, then you can actually do it for credit. So you can do an internship and get 12 credits for it. So it counts towards your graduation. So ideally, that's where you would do it.
There's a question about econometric scholarships. I don't know if we have them. Maybe somebody can provide an answer to that.
Yeah, there's also a question.
The further question, is computer science needed in high school level to do this course? No, I think most of the programming that we do, you will learn it here. So if you already know how to program, that's of course okay. But it's not selective in the sense that you don't need some background in programming. Very good question. How is business analytics course different from actuarial science or econometrics and data science? I think, yeah, it's summarized in the name business, right? So it's directly focusing on use in companies. All of the techniques that you learn, you're gonna apply them even more than we do. So in this sense, you could consider us a little bit more theoretical, but it prepares more for a lot of masters, right? So it's that's basically the difference. So if you study business analytics, it will be much harder to do an econometrics masters. In fact, you cannot. Vice versa, our students have the required level for. If you do the optimization course, you qualify for the data science and business analytics masters. So that's one of the differences. But you also get different type of courses, right? So accounting, stuff like that. So it's a kind of different setting, really. How big of a part is economics in the course? Well, pure economics, let me say macro and micro. There are 4 courses, and depending on what track you want to do. But also the actuarial science applications can also be considered economical, right?
Yeah, economics is always in the background for everything that we do. But yeah, courses specifically focusing on economics are basically microeconomics, macroeconomics, and mathematical economics 1. And if you go for the econometrics track, there's also mathematical economics 2. So in your opinion, what is the most challenging aspect of the Bachelor's Econometrics and Data Science course? Maybe this is a question for our students. Maybe Marlis, do you want to answer that? What is the most challenging aspect of the program?
Yeah, just the math part, I would say. It is the biggest part of the program, but I thought the transition from high school math to university math is quite big, and especially if you're not from the Netherlands, then I'm not sure how that how your high school math fits to the Dutch university math.
Well, in that sense, our admission is based on the knowledge we have about your foreign diplomas. And if we are in doubt, you might be sent to the OMPTD test. And in that test are basically all the topics that we want you to know. So also, I saw in this respect, I saw somebody asking, how can I prepare over summer? Well, in the OMPTD test environment, it's by a company called Sowieso. They also have a kind of summer type of course. So you can, and it's really cheap. So like for 20 or 25 euros, you can attend the courses and the modules are fit to what we require. So that would be a good way to prepare if you want to prepare more.
There have been a few more specific questions about admissions, and they have been answered by our colleagues. We still have 1 or 2 minutes if you have any last-minute questions. So Maurice mentioned some type of course for a few euros for preparation. Can we get more info on that?
This is by the company Sowieso, and I think everybody who applies for a program will get this information automatically. I don't have a link prepared, but it's by a company Sowieso. So I will type it, and it goes along with the OMPTD test. There's a question on the profs where they are from. Well, for example, Umut is not from the Netherlands. I'm Dutch. So yeah, we have Yihei, he's from China. So we have an international staff.
We have German and Belgian and Baltic colleagues that I can immediately think of. Yeah, so it is quite international. So I have 3 months. Would you recommend me to study some economics, maybe a textbook or some online resources? All the necessary economics, I think we will give you in our courses, micro or macroeconomics, but is there any textbook we can recommend?
I would say to just our study guide, online study guide,
Yeah.
you see the courses and the books that we use. You can, I will send a link, and you can find our program there. And well, the website name is it's studyguide.uva.nl, and you can find the program, and within the program you see the courses. And for each course, you get a very detailed description what we do and what books we use.
Okay, it's 2 minutes after 4, so I think that's a good place to stop the session. Well, I thank everybody for coming to the session. I hope it was helpful. I hope it helps you making your decisions. If you have any further questions, of course, you can always reach us by email or through the website. And well, good luck with choosing your courses of study, and hopefully we'll see you on campus in September. Thanks again, and bye.